In this session, we'll look at how Dynamics helped a large service prepayment processing company in the UK and Ireland address their purchase requisition process by streamlining it using SharePoint and K2. EasyPay faced scalability challenges when trying to increase business without having to increase back-office staff. The financial department was identified as an area that struggled to manage increased loads because purchase approval processes were manual and paper-based. The company was also deploying SharePoint as a replacement intranet and collaboration platform and wanted to use the investment to automate internal business processes. The purchase requisition process was governed by clear policies and approval levels based on the amount of spend. However, execution of it was hampered because it required a single purchase order paper pad to be completed in triplicate by the internal buyer. The paperwork had to be manually carried around the business for signature approval before being passed to the finance department, who would issue the purchase order to the supplier. It was slow, prone to error, and gave the finance department or budget owner little or no visibility of the planned spend until spending was approved. Dynamics assisted EasyPay by proposing the appropriate technology stack to be deployed alongside SharePoint, in this case, K2 Black Pearl. The second challenge was to identify an approach that would create the least change in the business but meet the objectives. The desire was for EasyPay to increase throughput in the finance department without an increase in headcount. EasyPay also wanted much more visibility of the purchase requisition process in order to better plan and control spending. Because the deployment of K2 Black Pearl was also strategic, the project had to be small, delivered quickly, be of low risk, but act as a showcase deployment of workflow technology in EasyPay. EasyPay wanted to empower themselves by learning from Dynamics. Dynamics mapped the current requisition process using our Process Centre of Excellence methodology. This allowed us to shape a solution that would meet the objectives and open the opportunity to roll out the solution quickly and enhance it with subsequent phases by capturing feedback from users using the initial phase of the system. We could further identify the regulatory requirements, apply the approval strategy already in place at EasyPay, and ensure minimal impact on process downstream that relied on the requisition process, for instance, invoice capture, matching, and approval. Based on this, we proposed an optimized process to be automated. We appreciate that the client is the expert of the process, and we are the experts at workflow and automation. In our approach, we aim to produce requirements that can be played back and understood by the business in order for them to sign them off. The solution implemented by Dynamics was intuitive and allowed us to train a handful of super users who in turn trained the users of the system. The system was based on the existing SharePoint intranet using K2 and staged over 3 environments. A key aim of the development was not to write any code. The solution was rolled out 3 months from the initial meetings, with business allowing us to maintain momentum and drive adoption. Potential purchasers would access the system from the SharePoint intranet deployed in EasyPay. My story starts with an employee at EasyPay wanting to buy software licenses from FrugalSoft. Potential purchasers would access the system from the SharePoint intranet deployed in EasyPay. In the financial portal, users can see an overview of the requisition process. From this, they can see the process and that it would go through up to 3 levels of approval, depending on the budget and the spend involved. Finally, the requisition would be passed over for finance validation to the finance team, who would issue the final purchase order. The system allowed users to capture a requisition using a form hosted in the intranet. All static linkups to the system are maintained within SharePoint for easy user access, depending on authority. For instance, the list of available companies and the budgets available for those companies. The requester was able to build up a requisition on a per-line item basis. Validation and spell checking was built into the system in order to allow consistent capture of data. The requester could further add any attachments and also supply information like the delivery address and date. Finally, the requester could add comments visible to any approvers downstream in the approval process. The requester would then submit the request for approval. Depending on the company selected, the budget and the amount of the required spend, the appropriate approver would be given a task which can be accessed directly from the SharePoint intranet or from the approver's email inbox. K2 further allows users to action tasks from mobile devices like Blackberries or iPhones. In this case, as an approver and a budget holder of the spend, I can see the new request made by the internal buyer. I can open that request and information is presented to me in a read-only fashion. The approver can review all the information in the requisition, add comments, and then make an appropriate routing decision by either approving or declining the requisition. The requisition would go through the full approval process, and visibility of that process can be viewed in real time using the K2 Black Pearl reporting engine. In this example of a previously approved requisition, I can see the path that the requisition took all the way through to the finance department, who ultimately issued the electronic purchase order to the supplier. I can see timing information graphically in order to determine where the bottlenecks of my requisition process may lie. The system will also allow users to review historic information, in this case, all previous requisitions raised by the system, who raised them, who approved them, and how long they took to be processed by the system. Finally, after the purchase order is approved by the finance department, a purchase order with information only applicable to the supplier can then be produced by the finance department and passed over to the supplier. In this case, attachments and internal comments are not available on the supplier version of the purchase order. Dynamics achieved all the objectives set out by EasyPay. To quote the CIO, Dynamics helped us remove the most paper-intensive process in this organisation. Furthermore, the financial controller now had complete visibility of all planned spend from the moment the purchase was requested. Dynamics is a Microsoft Gold partner and has assembled a product portfolio specifically within the Microsoft and .NET space for document management, process automation, scanning and imaging, and we're able to assist with rapid project delivery. For a great solution to your workflow problem, fast, where we work with you from discovery, design, installation, training and through your go-live transition, please contact us by visiting our website. You can also contact us by email or on Twitter. For further videos, please visit our YouTube channel.